Hello and welcome back to Hot Mess Habits, the productivity podcast. Today, starting right off the bat, I need to address something from last episode. And that is that if you were watching on YouTube, I was staring at the ground for the first 5 minutes of the episode. And everything in me wanted to just re-record the podcast because I was like, I just wanted everything to go perfect. And unfortunately, that's not always how life goes. And I need to just embrace the fact that sometimes it's better to just complete something and have it done than for it to be perfect. So I'm living by that today, and we just went ahead, put the first episode out, but you will notice that I am staring at the ground talking to my beautiful new carpet. So anyways, the second thing is that I also was holding onto this mic stand a lot. And so I've adjusted it a little bit this week to give my hands some more space to chat. So if you're watching on YouTube, you will notice these things. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, just bear with us and just enjoy the fact that you don't have to watch the chaos of the YouTube videos. Anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, for supporting me. I have just been so excited to do this and to just create a space on the internet that's all about productivity, that's a little bit more approachable than the traditional things that are taught and preached. So here we are. Today, we're getting in the fall mood. It is the season of fall. I love summer so much, and I do wish that summer was a little bit longer, especially I just wish we could have a month of summer that was not busy, but I just don't think that that's possible, because in the summer, that's when you want to travel and do things, and that's just when life gets busy. But I'm definitely excited for September to be back in the swing of things, to be back into a routine and rhythms. So we're going to chat all about that today. With the fall coming, I feel like it is just this kind of second chance at creating goals and habits and routines. I feel like the new year is kind of like the first, big push, and then you've got the winter to get through, and then summer comes, and then you just kind of throw everything out, which is kind of part of the summer, is just not having a routine, kind of living day by day, living spontaneously. Even though we don't get summer break anymore, I still feel like it feels like that, where it doesn't feel like that in the sense of we still have to work our jobs and stuff, but there's this feeling of carefreeness, of the need for a routine doesn't feel as strongly. And then kind of by the end of the year, or by the end of the summer, you kind of start to have that feeling of okay, maybe I do like my routine. Maybe I do want to get back into having a little bit more structure in my life. So it's definitely kind of natural in September to kind of have that feeling and want to get back into doing things. So let this be your inspiration if you are feeling those feelings to just, get your life together for the end of the year. I want to chat about, we're going to talk through 3 different categories. We're going to talk about clothing. We're going to talk about our digital space. We're going to talk about our calendars, and then we're going to talk about our goal setting. So I felt like that was kind of a good blend of some practical stuff, some more mindset things, and we're just going to go through. And I hope that, from this, you can feel inspired to get your life together this fall. Okay, so starting with clothing, I do feel like fashion becomes such a big thing in the fall. I don't know if that's just because I personally love fall fashion and getting to just layer things again. And, you're not sweating by the end of the day. You can actually wear a sweater, you can wear jeans. I just feel like there's lots more room for experimentation, and honestly, I think the best outfits are in fall. So I think that's maybe why clothing came to mind when I was thinking about, some categories for fall goals. But I think that one thing that is just really important is this is a good chance, as we're kind of changing from one season to the next. I just think with any season change, giving your closet a little refresh is a great way for both visually your brain to kind of clue in okay, yeah, we're changing into a different season. So visually giving your, your eyes and your brain that little reminder, but then also just personally for the ease of being able to go and pick out an outfit, and your the clothes that you want to wear are actually there. So if you live somewhere that, you have very seasonal weather, such as Canada, like I do, I feel really strongly about actually physically switching your wardrobe. So during this time of year, not quite yet, it's a little bit early for me to fully put away the shorts and the tank tops and things like that. But in the next couple weeks, I'll start to like actually transition pieces out of my closet for the year. So I don't get a new wardrobe every year, but I do have like a Rubbermaid of clothing that I will swap. So go through your closet, take out the pieces that you know that you won't wear throughout the year. So, examples like shorts. Like I am not going to wear shorts anytime between October and like April. So I can go ahead and take those physically out of my closet and store them away. I would highly recommend doing this just for the fact that like those clothes take up mental space and physical space in your closet. And if you have the ability to take them out and store them somewhere else, it's definitely going to be so helpful to be able to just make getting dressed a little bit easier. Another note on that is as you're doing this, as you're going through your clothes, checking through everything, have a look to see if there's anything that's like broken, dirty, needs taken care of. I know that I can be like sometimes I will miss a stain if I've spilt coffee or something on one of my shirts and I'll accidentally put it away. Or if there's like a button missing or something, it can just tend to sit in my closet and just never like get cleaned or get fixed. But taking care of the clothes that you currently have is so helpful because you're going to actually want to wear them. So during this process, if you see anything like that, that's either stained or has a hole or anything like that, either take it out and fix it or just get rid of it. We don't want things sitting in there that aren't actually going to get used. So make sure that you take them out and deal with them. The goal by the end of this, by going through all your clothes and giving the closet a refresh, is just to have a space that feels inspiring, that you feel like you can look at and pick out an outfit easily. Another great tip for organizing your clothes and having your clothes be, put together this fall is using Pinterest. I will talk about Pinterest forever and always. I'm such a Pinterest girly, but go through Pinterest and make some inspo boards of clothing that you want to wear this fall. It doesn't have to be new clothing. It can be clothing that like you maybe want to buy or clothing that you don't quite have yet. I want you to go through Pinterest and make boards for some inspiration. And then I want you to physically print out those photos. So you can either download them all, make a collage on Canva, put them together, or just like screenshot them, but somehow physically print them out and take them and put them up in your closet or by your closet. If you can have that visual inspiration close by to your closet, it's going to help so much with actually putting together outfits you like. Alternatively, you can also like obviously pull up your phone and look up Pinterest. I just find that like those steps and thinking about doing that in the mornings is like not necessarily realistic, but if you can take the time now and print those things out, give yourself a little inspiration board in your closet, it's going to help you actually wear those clothes. I find often I won't even know that I have something that's like a good outfit piece until I see it on Pinterest and I'm like, wait, that actually would look so cute with this, or like just things that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of out of the top of my head or just by looking at my closet. But when I see it styled by someone else, I'm like, oh wait, I can do that. The last piece that we'll talk about on clothing is just a little reminder to iron your freaking clothing. When I iron my clothing, I feel so much better. I feel like I have my life together. I feel like I am on top of the world. It's actually crazy what a difference it makes. And honestly, I know that a lot of you are not going to actually pull your iron. So just buy a steamer. Just buy a steamer, get it over with, and you will thank me because your clothes will be so crisp. You'll feel so good wearing them and it's going to change your life. Okay, so that's my little rant on clothing. We're going to go through our closets. We're going to reset them. We're going to get rid of things that we don't need, that are stained, that need to be fixed. We're going to get ourselves a little visual reminder for our closet, little Pinterest board moment, and then we are also going to actually iron our clothes so that we look presentable. Next up, we have to address the camera roll situation. I know that there's other girls out there that are like me who have a camera roll that is absolutely exploding and you do not know what to do with it. I am waiting and begging for someone to create an app that makes it easy for me to store my images. That's not like I don't want a cloud service. I want it to like something that makes it easy for me to store my images, organize them, label them, all these things. I don't think it quite exists yet, but I'm hoping someone will invent it soon because the camera rolls are getting out of control and I cannot pay for like iCloud storage for the rest of my life. Anyways, I'm working on figuring out a system for my photos and my camera roll. We'll get back to that. I will probably have to do an episode on that when I figure out the best way to do it. But for now, let's just try to go through the camera roll as much as we can. I try to, after a week or so, I try to like go through and delete some photos. Since having a baby, it's been really hard because I find it really like emotional trying to get rid of any photos, but we're working on it. I'll come back and update you guys about a system for that when I have figured that out myself. For now, we'll just go through and I'm just going to chat through a couple things about your digital space that you can. But for now, let's just chat about a couple things with the digital space that we can work on that I do feel confident in and have helped me. The first one I feel very passionate about is just having a clear desktop. I give myself a 1 week rule. So I will allow myself to let my desktop be as messy as I want it to be for 1 week. So like work week for me starts on Monday. So on Monday, usually my desktop is completely clean. And also guys, when I'm talking about desktop, I'm talking about like my computer screen, like when you open your computer screen, what you see on the desktop. I don't know if there's a better word for it, but I hope that you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like my physical desk. I'm talking about my digital like computer screen. So on Monday, my computer screen is clean. Throughout the week, I'm screenshotting things, I'm downloading things. The desktop is filling up with different things. I'm saving things. And I don't make myself like clear it out every day because honestly, like often I'm working on projects where I'm referencing things on the desktop quite often. But at the end of the week, I will make myself clear my desktop completely off. So that usually means just like deleting a bunch of screenshots or sorting things into certain files, putting things onto hard drives. But I promise you that having a fresh desktop every Monday will change your life. If you are not doing this already, you need to start. Even if you just make a few folders on your desktop that you can easily sort things into. For example, I do have a screenshots folder on my desktop. Is that folder a little bit messy? Sure. However, it keeps my desktop from getting absolutely chaotic and crazy. Along with the desktop, this is like goes hand in hand. Make sure that you have a cute desktop wallpaper. There's so many on the internet. I have a little template. If you guys want to use, I'll link it. And I will make one every single month that just has like some inspo photos on it. It has a space for me to write some goals if I want to have some goals that I can see. And then also there's just like a blank space where I can kind of store my folders in. And just having something cute like that when you open your computer screen, especially if you work from home like me or if you're working from your computer, you want to make sure that your desktop when it greets you on Monday morning doesn't look like absolute chaos, because I promise you that is not the way that you want to start the week. My last piece of advice for the digital space is to work on making a system for yourself to store all of the things that you're saving on the internet. So what I fall victim to is no matter where I am on the internet, I will be saving things, screenshotting things, collecting links, like sending things to myself. I have my saves folder on Instagram. I have my saves on TikTok. I have my Pinterest boards. And then I also will screenshot, like I'm a crazy screenshotter. Okay. So if someone posts something on an Instagram story that I think is cute, instant screenshot. If someone post a recommendation, instant screenshot. Like I'm just screenshotting so many things. Sometimes I'll even screenshot on TikTok because I just want to be able to like collect the thought of that thing. And so sometimes I feel like it's more legit if I screenshot it versus saving it in my TikTok saved folder. I don't know if this is just a me problem or if other people can relate to this, but my suggestion is if you're someone who can relate to this and you do this, is to just have some sort of system. It doesn't have to be written down. It can just be in your head, but some sort of system of how you store things. So one thing that I used to do was anytime that I saw something that I wanted to buy, I either would instantly buy it because I was like, oh my gosh, I need this right now. Or I would like screenshot it, or I would save it in my TikTok. And then sometimes I would forget about it and want to find it again. And it was really difficult to find. So what I started doing was making a system for my wish list. So I use Notion. I'm a big Notion girly. And so I started a page on Notion where I just link anything that I see on the internet that I want to buy. So if I see something on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, wherever it is, I will in the moment take a screenshot, or I will copy the link and I will go to my Notion and I will link that item. What this has done for me is, first of all, allowed me to just be a little bit less of an impulse spender. So it gives a little bit of pause to me just immediately going to Amazon and ordering it. It allows me to be like, okay, wait, I'm going to make a list of the things I want. And if in 3 weeks I still want them, maybe I'll get them for myself. So it allows me to, have a little bit of intention behind what I'm wanting. And then also just allows for easy referencing down the line if I do want to like reference back to something, or like, oh wait, I think I saw something that I wanted. Or also, for birthdays and Christmas, if someone wants a wish list from me, then at least I have some ideas going already. You could definitely apply this to other things as well. Like recipes would be another good example. I feel like I'm also like always screenshotting recipe ideas on TikTok and saving them and stuff. So having one space to kind of collect them all. Pinterest maybe would be a good one for that. Just having one space where you collect everything. I feel like this concept helps because often it can feel like we have ideas kind of scattered across the internet and like information scattered across the internet. So the more effort we can go to like kind of like put everything in one place and put everything so it's like easily accessible for ourselves later, I feel like can really help clear the mental load of the mind. Okay. The calendar is going to be a great one for the fall because I feel like the fall is when we start getting, like I've said, we're getting back into a routine. We're looking at the calendar again. Things are a little bit more scheduled. If you're part of any type of like organization or like anything, I feel like everything starts back up in the fall. Even like I was trying to go to some mom groups this summer, and just like, I don't know if it's just where I live. We live in a very like summer beach town, and I feel like there's just nothing going on in the summer. It's just like, nope, we don't do anything until the fall. So, which is fair enough. People are busy in the summer, but September is the time to bring back out the calendar. So we're going to talk a little bit about some calendar tips and scheduling tips. The first thing is that if you have not coordinated your Google Calendar yet, this is the time to do so. I am obsessed with having a clean, color-coded Google Calendar. I have different categories and different colors for different areas of my life. I will link my little freebie that I have that shows you kind of like how to do that. I'll link that for you guys because it has changed my life. Do not settle for the bright yellow and blue and red colors that Google automatically gives you. I promise you there's a better way. You can have the most beautiful aesthetic Google Calendar and it will make your life so much better. The second thing is just making sure that you have a synced calendar with your husband or whoever's in your family. I even sometimes will sync a calendar with one of my friends so we can kind of see what each other's schedule is and see when each other's free. That's kind of fun to do, to just get a glimpse of what the other person's up to. If you feel like you are a little bit out of control in terms of like your schedule, you feel like you're always busy, you can never catch up, you just always feel that sense of busyness and never feel like you are in control of your schedule and your calendar, I want to give you a couple ideas of things that you could do to kind of get back on track and get back to like a good routine and feel more in control of your time and your calendar. So right now, I want you to look ahead. So we're in September right now. I want you to look ahead to like the last months of the year, October, November, December. These are months where I feel like it really easily like time gets taken from us, quote unquote. What I want you to do is now I want you to proactively look ahead to the dates and the times. And maybe there's already things that are already booked in your calendar for these months. But if, for example, say you feel like you're really busy and you never get a chance to rest and you never get any downtime, I want you to now, these months ahead, put that time and space in your calendar. So maybe you want to block off a weekend in October that you're like, we are going to stay home. We're going to do nothing. We're going to watch movies. And that's going to be what our plans are for the weekend. Put that in your calendar now so that as you're making plans, as you are committing to things, looking at activities and things to do, that weekend is already blocked off in your calendar. It's of course up to you to like protect that time and to implement boundaries in order to properly like keep that time available for yourself. But that's just at least a good start, is just looking ahead and maybe planning some things out. I know for us, one thing that's really important is we really wanted to take a trip this fall. So we've had that week blocked off in our calendar for months because we're like, okay, this is the week that we're going to go away. And we want to make sure that that actually happens and that we're not just saying yes to things and, you know, forgetting about the fact like, oh, wait, we wanted to take a trip and then suddenly it's Christmas. Along with that, 2 other things you can do to kind of like gain that like sense of having control of your week and of your schedule. The first one is to create just like a weekly kind of guideline, baseline of what you want your week to look like. That's repeatable. So I can go more into depth in this if you would like, but I have 2 kind of week templates. I have like my A week and my B week, and I kind of rotate between them in terms of like, okay, this is what my week schedule is going to be like, and it's very repeatable. It happens every week. I know what to expect. I know what's going on. I know that like, you know, on Monday mornings, this is the first thing I'm going to do. On Tuesdays, I'm going to be with baby. It's repeatable. It's the same thing every single week in, week out. So having something like that, and then just either printing that out so you can see it, or just having that built into your like Google Calendar can be really helpful. The last thing along with that is, especially as we get older, I feel like it's harder to like see friends and to, you know, make sure that we're actually spending intentional time with them. So one thing you can do is make a reoccurring date with a friend. So say like the last Thursday of every month, you are going to go for dinner, or on Wednesdays in the morning, you're going to go on a walk. And just making those things kind of reoccurring and just part of your regular schedule, rather than always being like, okay, can you hang out next week? Oh no, I can't hang out next week. Oh, can you hang out the week after? Oh, what? No, I'm busy. Like I feel like it gets rid of the back and forth. It's just like, okay, on Wednesdays we do this. So having people that are willing to like make a commitment like that and stick to it, that can be a great way to just get a little bit more control of your calendar and make sure that you are maintaining a social life. We will also talk more kind of about like creating some menus and routine menus. We'll dive more into like morning routines, evening routines, and all that kind of as we get into winter here, because I want to make sure that this winter I'm spending a little time on my phone and more time doing activities and hobbies. So we'll get more into that. I promise. Okay, the last thing for today's episode that I want to talk about is just goals in general, and how, you know, like we were talking about, this is the kind of time of the year where it feels almost like a second new year. So we have January, we set our goals, we have great intentions. Then we go throughout the year, you know, maybe we stick to our goals, maybe we don't, but I feel like this is a great time to go back, reevaluate, what were we hoping for this year? What were some of the goals that we set? You know, are we on track for those things? Are those things still in line with what we're wanting? What do we want to leave? What do we want to add? Like, how do we want to finish off this year? How do we want to finish the fall? How do we want to go into this next winter and this next year ahead of us? I feel like this is just a great like evaluation point to be able to do so. So if you have some time this week, I highly would encourage you to just look back. If you did set any goals, look back at them, see where you're at, see where you're tracking, and then maybe reevaluate, set some new ones. And also again with the visual things, I will always talk about this. If you have goals that you're wanting to accomplish by the end of the year, please write them out and have them somewhere visible. Do not just write them out in a journal and close it and never look at it again. Write them out, make them visible, make them accessible for you, whether that's, you know, on a piece of paper, on your phone, whether that's a daily reminder telling you, get your 10 steps in today, get your 10,000 steps in today, you know, whatever it is for you, finding ways to make it a part of your regular life, making those goals actually like something that you want to do, is going to be a game changer. I hope this episode inspires you to just get back into routine, either continue some habits for the fall, get back into some habits for the fall. A reminder that like you can start creating good habits and good routines at any time of the year. It doesn't need to be, you know, like a Monday or the beginning of the year. I would highly encourage you, don't wait until 2025 to start new goals. You can start new goals and habits today. Let this season of fall and coziness and all the routines and good things get get you back into that spirit. Thank you so much for being here. Please let me know if you're feeling inspired for fall from watching this. Please let me know below. Let me know what Starbucks drink you're drinking. And also, if you're listening on Apple or on Spotify, I would love if you could leave me a review and a rating. That would mean so much to me. If you want to follow along and stay kind of up to date on what episodes we're doing, as well as give feedback or ask questions for future episodes, you can give us a follow at Hot Mess Habits. I'm Victoria. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll chat next week. Bye.